Chapter 1, Lesson 1, Living Things and the Environment. What does an organism get from its environment? If you were to visit Alaska, you might see a bald eagle fly by. A bald eagle is one type of organism or living thing. Different types of organisms live in different types of surroundings or environments. An organism gets food, water, shelter, and other things it needs to live, grow, and reproduce from its environment. An environment that provides the things a specific organism needs to live and grow and reproduce is called a habitat. In a forest habitat, mushrooms grow in the damp soil and woodpeckers build nests in tree trunks. Organisms live in different habitats because they have different requirements for survival and reproduction. Some organisms live on a prairie with its flat terrain, tall grasses, and low rainfall amounts. A prairie dog obtains the food and shelter it needs from a prairie habitat. It could not survive on this rocky ocean shore. Likewise, the prairie would not meet the needs of a sea star. What are the two parts of an organism's habitat? To meet its needs, a prairie dog must interact with more than just the other prairie dogs around it. An organism interacts with both the living and non-living parts of its habitat. Biotic factors. The parts of a habitat that are living or once living and interact with an organism are called biotic factors. The plants that provide seeds and berries are biotic factors. The ferrets and eagles that hunt the prairie dogs are also biotic factors. Worms and bacteria are biotic factors that live in the soil underneath the prairie grass. Prairie dog scat, owl pellets, and decomposing plant matter are also biotic factors. Abiotic factors. Not all of the factors that organisms interact with are living. Abiotic factors are the non-living parts of an organism's habitat. These factors include sunlight, soil, temperature, oxygen, and water. How is an ecosystem organized? Most organisms do not live all alone in their habitat. Instead, organisms live together in populations and communities that interact with abiotic factors in their ecosystems. Organisms. Black-tailed prairie dogs that live in prairie dog towns on the Nebraska plains are all members of one species. A species is a group of organisms that can mate with each other and produce offspring that can also mate and reproduce. Populations. All the members of one species living in a particular area are referred to as a population. The prairie dogs in the Nebraska town are one example of a population. Communities. A particular area contains more than one species of organism. The prairie, for instance, includes prairie dogs, hawks, snakes, and grasses. All the different populations that live together in an area make up a community. Ecosystems. The community of organisms that live in a particular area along with their non-living environment make up an ecosystem. A prairie is just one of the many different types of ecosystems found on Earth. Other ecosystems are deserts, oceans, ponds, and forests. The smallest level of organization is a single organism which belongs to a population that includes other members of its species. The population belongs to a community of different species. The community and abiotic factors together form an ecosystem. Ecology. Because the populations in an ecosystem interact with one another, any change affects all the different populations that live there. The study of how organisms interact with each other and with their environment is called ecology.